sponsored by AICTE-ISTE, organized by Department of Computer Engineering of Dr. D.Y. Patil Pratishthan's D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Akurdi, Pune. For faculty members, I welcome all the participants for post-lunch hands-on session. It's my honor to introduce Mr. Tushar Kudeswar, researcher and trainer, MITU Skillologies, Pune. Yesterday, sir was with us and he will proceed his sessions. We are honored to have you, sir, with us. Welcome, you, sir, for hands-on session for predictive analysis on healthcare dataset using machine learning. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. So, good afternoon all, and welcome back to this session again. Yesterday we have started with some practical concepts of the data analytics commonly, how to use the data, how to do small simple analysis of that data, what do you mean by arrays, and many more things that we have seen. Now just to the next step of it, today we are going to have a case study on the data set. The data set that we have seen yesterday, out of it one of the data set I will choose, and let's look around that data set and to perform operation of predictive analytics on that data with the help of machine learning algorithms. Before actually proceeding further, let's have small theoretical overview of it. So maybe it will require a few minutes or maximum half an hour. With this we can identify the theoretical background behind it, because it should be known first. Once that background is known, then it will be easy for us to perform the operations on it. Okay, so first of all I'll show the data science workflow, where exactly we are going to make the predictive analytics and how the workflow is there. Yesterday I have shown that, but let's continue with that step by step and let's finish that. Okay, so let's check it out. I'll share my screen. Yeah. So the data science workflow, I think the screen is visible, presentation is visible here.
Yes, sir.
Six steps are there. So out of all steps, last two steps are now we are going to make use here. Okay, so business understanding. So basically for what business we are actually working. So our theme is healthcare here. So for healthcare business, we are creating the design for predictive analytics. That's what first, and then data understanding. That we will see once you download the data. Then we'll see what exactly present inside it. Maybe I am not from the particular sector, but I can know the things that are the properties of the data basically that I wish to know. I have to know how the data variations are presented, how they will affect the output. That I will know. That I am knowing already. So data understanding is very important concept here. That we'll see data, we understand the data. Then we'll go for data importing. Yesterday we have seen this operation of data importing and data cleaning also. Cleaning and manipulation, that is also very important. So data importing and cleaning manipulation I will show today. Then data cleaning somewhat we have seen yesterday, something we see today also, manipulation. After that we are going to have the statistical modeling and the machine learning there. How can I create the model? How can I apply the machine learning system on this? And finally we'll have a reporting and visualization. Reporting and visualization is just like we generate the results, that result generation, okay, result generation as well as the prediction. Okay, how can I do the prediction and finding the accuracy of the algorithm. Okay, that all these things we are going to see in this particular session practically by considering the yesterday's session and in continuation with that. Okay, even visualization maybe if it is required, not required. Okay, it's a secondary part, but let's see how to work with this. So this flow we are going to follow. We are going to have this step by step with the help of Python programming language and using one of the machine learning algorithm. Many ML algorithms are present. Out of that, one of them I'll choose. Before that, let's take a simple theoretical overview what we require to use it here. So just a minute, I just want to show two steps. What exactly the machine learning is? Maybe you already known to that in theoretical sessions. I'll just take an overview of it because it gives the requirement for us for our algorithms basically. So machine learning is the application of AI, as you know, that provides system the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. Okay, without being explicitly programmed. So machine learning focuses on the development of computer programs that can access data and use it learn from themselves. How exactly this own learning is possible? Okay, machine is a computer here and learning, so it learns from that with the help of some modeling techniques. Okay, so that modeling techniques basically focused on the statistical modeling, mathematical modeling, stochastic modeling. Out of it one can be chosen. The process of learning begins with observations or data, previous data that should be having with us, such as examples, direct experience or instructions that we can use there. Okay, any previous observations or experience or examples should be present in order to look for patterns in the data and make better decisions in future based on the example that we provide. Okay, so how do we learn? How human being learn? So we learn from the experience. We know the previous data, what we have observed previously, what we have exactly taken previously. That observations are modeled. When the model is created, then predictions are possible. So basically predictive analytics contains that. We basically find a modeling of it. That modeling will be done by using previous observation. What was the previous input? What was the previous output? Based on that, you define your further operation. So that is what machine learning does. So primary aims to allow computers to learn automatically without human intervention or assistance and perform the action or adjust the actions accordingly. Okay, so any one of that is possible over there. Now, machine learning is basically having three things. It's a triangle. I generally believe on this triangle. Without that, it's not possible to have the fulfillment of machine learning technique. Okay, so three things are present. It's a study, field of study interested in development of computer algorithm for transforming data into intelligent action, which is known as machine learning. Okay, so three things. It's a triangle basically. So out of it is already we have to focus on, that is data available with us, that is available data. Without data, predictive analytics on that is not possible. ML algorithms can't work. So that's why it's a part of data science. We call it a part of data science because of this. Previous observations, experience, examples that should be present with you. And that contains, if predictive analytics is there, it contains input also and output also. So what was previous input and what was the output that time? So what's the relationship between input and output is there, that is formulated by the machine learning algorithm here. Okay. Now we have computing power. Computing power means programming language and it's hardware, software that we use in your computer system. That is the computing power. With the help of that, the programming is done, remember. And then the statistical methods. Statistical methods are the way by which the modeling of that data is possible, where we make use of the machine learning algorithms based on that predictive analytics is possible. So data we'll search for, then we will use the computing power, programming language, and with the help of that we'll use statistical methods by which the modeling is possible. Okay, so that is what the machine learning is. And we must be knowing the types of that kind of algorithm. So basically we are having three types of algorithm. Supervised, unsupervised, just check it out. In machine learning we have supervised learning, and in that two kind of algorithms are there. And in unsupervised learning, single algorithm is present. We will not focus on this part. We'll go for this part only, that is supervised learning. Supervised learning is a predictive analytics actually, as the topic that we are going to see today is the predictive analytics on the healthcare data. Predictive analytics is done with the help of the supervised learning. So it's developed the predictive model based on the both input and output data. Both input and output are present there. If you are only having the input, then unsupervised learning is done. And supervised learning, when input and output both are present, we formulate a model that will show relationship between input and output. Okay, there are two kinds of algorithms that we have: classification and regression. Classification are predicting the categories of that data. Category. Okay, any physical category, 5 categories, 2 categories, 3 categories, 10 categories. So categorical output is present when algorithm is of classification type that you are going to use, and when the algorithm, when the output is the continuous output, That time we are going to make use of the regression techniques. Regression shows the output in the continuous format. So there is some set of algorithm that we can see which are present under classification and the regression category. So today we are going to see the classification data set. Many data set that are available online, they are of classification. Regression is also possible. Many algorithms are common in both. Now in classification we are going to have this algorithm nearest neighbor. So I'll show you this algorithm implementation practically, how nearest neighbor will be used for predictive analytics in machine learning using Python. Here also regression, also many algorithms are present. Out of that, any can be chosen. These are the popularly used algorithms actually. Classification, we have support machine, we have nearest neighbor algorithm, we have new base classifier, Bayesian classification is used, or we can have distant tree algorithm, we can have random forest algorithm, like ensemble technique is used there. And neural networks are also used for the classifications. Okay, so any one of that can be chosen, but I am taking simplest algorithm basically because there are no much complexity involved in that. Mathematical complexities are not there. Mathematical complexities are present in almost every algorithm. Different modeling is used, and based on that they build the model and then perform the predictions. So I'll be showing nearest neighbor, which is lazy learning kind of algorithm, where 100% ML is not actually used as per the definition of ML there, but it is used for the predictive analytics with the help of this lazy learning technique. So let's see how to perform the operations on the healthcare data sets. Okay, so first of all, we'll check the data set and then we will go to learn algorithm and then we'll go for implementation of it. Okay, so let's check it out. I'll show the. So yesterday we have seen UCI machine learning repository. Let's see that. Let's go for that. Let's use data set from there. Okay, see. So UCI ML repository which is present here. Okay, I just search in Google, or I am having this bookmark linked already. Top data sets are present. You can analyze any one of them. Out of it, two data sets which are connected with the healthcare category, like breast cancer, Wisconsin data set is there, diagnostic, and second is heart disease data set. Both are actually classified data sets are there. They are used for classification to work on. I'll just open the first, that is breast cancer, Wisconsin is a university which okay, we have created a data set and this donated to UCI ML repository. You can see yesterday we have shown that one. Here you can go to data folder. There is data set is present. You can see people are present there. Out of it, one of the file that we can choose, like breast cancer Wisconsin.data. Okay, it is almost 19.4 kilobytes of it. I'll just save it somewhere in my home. Say, okay, so I'm opening this file and you can see this. It is something different actually. It does not contain the columns. Okay, it should have a column name, then only it is identifiable. What exactly the meaning of is present. Along with that, few more data sets are available, like WDBC data. See? So the description is given there, and after the description you can identify what's the meaning of the present there. And there's many more. This is a perfect data set that we actually require to work on. Data set. Okay, it's actually present. The names of the columns are also present. That also we can download from here. Okay. Let's save it and open. The names of the present here. See the names of the columns are presented. I'll show you the whole data set and we'll talk about it. Okay. So this is the data that we'll be using. We'll be building the predictive analytics model using machine learning on this particular data set. We can use heart disease also. So they are the popularly used, very commonly available. Even as I told yesterday, and diabetes data set is also present. Diabetes, which also we can use to perform the predictions. All data sets present over there, they are of classification category. They identify that what kind of disease is present, or what is present or not present. Categories are yes or no. Okay, finding, so this data set which is shown over here, which is in that category, that whether the cell or the tumor detected in the body is cancerous or not cancerous. So attributes are 32 present over there. Out of it, one attribute is ID, one attribute is the output variable. that is yes or no, and 30 different features are there, 30 different dimensions of tumor are there. Based on that, you predict whether the cancer is present or not, like classification kind of thing. You can check it. Associated task given there is a classification. So before that, let's try to understand the algorithm. I'll show a small example of that algorithm also, and then proceed further to perform operations with this. Okay, so let's check algorithm of nearest neighbor classification. Okay. So its technical name is K neighbors classification, that is KNN in short we call it as. With the help of K neighbors classification, it's possible to perform the build a model of it and perform the predictive analytics. Okay, so let's understand that what exactly it performs. In the nearest neighbor classification also. In a single sentence, nearest neighbor classifiers are defined by their characteristic of classifying unlabeled example by assigning the class of the most similar labeled example. Most similar, the most similar class that it contains, in that it will go. But how exactly the similarity are identified? Okay, the simplicity of this idea is nearest neighbor method is extremely powerful, and it's used for many operations like computer vision applications. Now you just identify that there is a face. Okay, a person come to your home, you have to identify the nationality of that person. So you can just observe the face and which is matching, which is the most similar nationality. So accordingly, this may belong to this nation because that face is similar to the group of citizens from that nation. Like you can identify that. Okay, or he's speaking in one of the language, so you identify that this language is similar, most similar to which language. Okay, so where it goes, which was similar, so you identify that this language is like that. Okay, which is the most similar. That is what they are using here, and there are some formulas by which the similarity notion is identified, and with the help of that KNN algorithm creates the model. So computer vision applications like OCR that you can use, facial recognition as I told for still images and the video also, and many more like predictions of whether a person enjoying, it's a Netflix challenge actually, enjoying a movie or not, like that is using camera to do that, or identifying the patterns in genetic data for use in detecting specific protein diseases, like many such things are. Okay, so that is what exactly the concept is. The most similar sample will be chosen, and based on that, we will go for the classes. Okay, actually, let's see for the data set with the help of some example. I'll show you. This is a good example that I found in machine learning with R book by Brain Lads. They are given perfectly demonstrated that how exactly KNN behaves, works. Let's say I'm having a data set of 16 different samples. 16 different ingredients are there. Out of that, I've just shown this snapshot of them, like ingredients are there. Okay, just a minute, I'll show the data set also. I'll open that and then we'll check it out. Actual data set I have created manually over there. Just a minute. Yeah. Now see this. See this. A data that I have with me, it's like two proper ingredients are there. These are the ingredients, and two properties are there, like sweetness and crunchiness of that ingredient. Sweetness is measured in the range of 1 to 10. Okay, crunchiness is measured again in the range of 1 to 10. So someone has measured that value from 1 to 10. And okay, it's the name of it, the properties of it, and finally the class of it is defined. Class. The class is, okay, three classes are there. Either that particular ingredient is a protein, it can be a vegetable or it can be a fruit. Okay, protein, vegetable or a fruit. Okay, so based on the ingredients, we will be identifying the class of it. Okay, you can check it. The sweetness and crunchiness are identified. Okay, sweetness and crunchiness, and based on that we are going to. So what we call, these are the input features. These are the features input that we are having, and this is the output. I don't worry about the ingredient actually. I'm having these inputs, whatever name it carries, I don't require. This is the output. So a new ingredient, the sweetness and crunchiness, and accordingly I want to predict in which category it should go: protein, vegetable, or the fruit. Okay, like that. It is what I have manually created here, which is present in the book. So as per that idea, it's created. Check it out. So it's like this. Okay, and now see how nearest neighbor classification creates the model of it, and then we'll do the predictions on the new data which is coming. That's it. I have plotted that on a two-dimensional plane like this. On x side, the sweetness is put here. Sweetness is going from 1 to 10, and on y axis I'm having the crunchiness of it. We start from 1 to 10 again. Sweetness on x axis and crunchiness on the y axis. Okay, fine. Now, as per the values given to the respective ingredient, I am putting it onto the two-dimensional plane. Okay, so you just can check it out now. All of these ingredients are placed at different places according to the value of sweetness and the crunchiness. Okay, like this. Now let's go ahead. Now how the classes are defined. See this, how exactly the classes, three classes are present there. If you just draw the borders of it, so these are the fruits. Okay, all these are the fruits, and this is the protein. Okay, all these are proteins, and this is the vegetables. These are the vegetables, these are the fruits, these are the proteins, like that. Fine. This is the model that they have for the machine learning there. So based on the classes, the grouping is done. It's okay, grouping is done, but how the prediction can be possible? How we are going to make the predictions from that? So predictions are now done like finding the most similar class. And now see that my question is tomato. So I want to classify the tomato. In which category the tomato will go? The tomato is a vegetable or is a protein or it's a fruit that I need to identify. So maybe different categories are there. Human behavior, so based on your idea, your identities, your requirements, you can identify what sort of ingredient is that. But how machine learning will classify that? How will predict that the tomato is a fruit or tomato is a vegetable? See, I'll plot the tomato on the two-dimensional plane with the help of the features, sweetness and the crunchiness of it. Sweetness and crunchiness. So maybe the sweetness is lying here in between and crunchiness is here. And you can observe that it is out of the boundary of all three classes. It is out of the boundary of all three classes. And it's not within the boundary. Okay. So it will be difficult for the machine learning algorithm to predict. Okay. Okay. To predict that whether the tomato is coming in which particular category. In that case, what we'll do, as I told, k nearest neighbor. So it will check for the k nearest neighbor. So I use k value 4 here. So 4 k means the total number of neighbors. Nearest neighbor will be comparing for. So 4 neighbors are there that I am comparing here. Okay, so 2 are from fruits category, 1 is from the vegetable category, and 1 is from the nearest neighbor actually, which are close to the tomato. So basically there are some formulas you might be aware about. Euclidean distance formula. So Euclidean distance formula is used to find that distance of two different points on two-dimensional or a multi-dimensional plane that we will be using. So that when you draw a straight line, the distance will be calculated by Euclidean distance formula. And with the help of that formula, we will make use of it and identify the similarity or the distance between elements, two or more elements present on two-dimensional plane. Let's see. This is the distance formula used there. That Euclidean distance formula is present. Can check P1 and P2. distance. So they are having x1 here, y1, x2, y2, and distance will be calculated by this formula. Like Euclidean distance. Okay, x1, x2, y1, y2 are added, and if you actually calculate the distance between two, for example, I want to calculate the distance between the tomato and the green beans mentioned over here. The distance formula involves comparing the values of each feature. For example, to calculate the distance between the tomato, which contains sweetness 6, crunchiness 4, and the green bean, which contains sweetness 3, crunchiness 7, we can use the formula as follows. This. Okay. So if you put these values inside the respective formula, you can identify the distance is like 4.2. Okay. The distance is 4.2. Check this. If you put this value inside the formula, distance 4.2, like that. So calculating by this method, either you can use the Euclidean distance method, Manhattan distance method to calculate it. The differences like that, you can check. Euclidean distance is straight line directly, and Manhattan is like this. Okay, if you are knowing that in any of the statistics, so just can observe that how the distance are calculated. See this. Now, the four neighbors have taken k, value of k I kept 4, where the four neighbors are taken, and then we have formulated the distance between the grape tomato, green bean tomato, nuts tomato, and orange tomato. These are the four nearest neighbor are taken. We calculate the distance, okay, 2.2, 4.2, 3.6, and 1.4. Okay, whatever the neighbors are present, just take it and find the closest neighbor. They are the closest neighbor identified actually. And with the help of that, in that four nearest neighbor, where in which particular class maximum neighbor lies. Okay, in which particular class maximum neighbor lies. Okay, so check it. Fruit are 2, vegetable is 1, and protein is 1. So class is fruit. So that's what can identify tomato is a fruit, because two elements are there which are nearest neighbor, we are present inside the fruit category. If you are comparing with the tomato, so they are present into the fruit category. They are the closest neighbor now. We are nearest neighbor, and with the help of that, you can build the model of machine learning. And next time when you do the predictions, the tomato will now be classified as a fruit. Remember. So this is how small technique that KNN uses. Every algorithm of machine learning actually having their own technique. Decision tree contains a tree-based technique by which it uses some statistics. With the help of that, many trees are generated and they're classifying according to tree. Random forest also contains own. SVM containing 4 or 5 different kind of models by which we'll use it. Then Newbase having its own model. Logistic regression also contains own model. So any one can be chosen. They are having their own model. With the help of that, the predictions are done. Once the model building is done, then we'll do the predictions. So in this way, the formulation of this will be done, and we are going to do the predictions of the respective data onwards. I'll show that in the programmatical format, and then we'll go to change it. So basically, value of k is taken according to your knowledge. With how many number of neighbors you have to check? The 16 elements are there in the data set, and out of that I have chosen only 4 nearest. So 16 are there, 4 nearest neighbor are chosen. So that 4 value is generally I have randomly taken. General idea is to take the square root of the whole triangle, but it's not a proper way to do it. Okay, there is no specific method also present by which you can identify the perfect value of k. We can have cross validation technique also, but they take some time to identify the value of k. So here you can check it, how many you can comparison will be there. So a value of k generally we take from 3 to 10. Okay, minimum 3 neighbors to maximum 10 neighbors, like that, or more than that is also possible. That is also possible if you are using the trial and error method by repetitively checking the value of k for improvement. So that's also okay. You can identify the value of k by that method, but generally 3 to 10 will be taken. And as you increment the value of k, your validation error will start increasing. That's what this is what written in one of the research paper. So I've taken that. So it's a proved actually. So optimal value of k is required. Within that particular range only, you have to keep the value of k, how many number of neighbors you have to compare, and based on that you have to build the model over there, like that. Okay, so we'll come to this point, and now let's see the things practically, how to perform the operations with this. So I'll just open my Jupyter notebook again. Let's see the things from the this particular data set point of view first, and then we'll go for your data set. This will be easy to understand to do the predictions. So how exactly predictive analytics is actually working, that we will see by this example which is shown over here, and then we'll go for the original data set that we are using here for the breast cancer analysis. Let's create a new Python file here. Okay. So we have installed the pandas already, and one more package I require now is called as sklearn, that is scikit-learn. Inside that, implementation of all the machine learning algorithm is created. So if you want to use any one of the algorithms, so you need to import that package and then use the class from that, create the object of it, and then perform the operations. First of all, I need to import the file. So data importing is required. We have understood the data set already. We have to import a data set. So let's import that. Simple modeling I'll show only for the data set that I have shown right now. Ingredients. So it's present. Just save it in home directory. So see, so this is your data set completely. And the thing which I explained in the theory applicable to all the data sets also, which are in classification category. But let's see for this, because within 4 or 5 lines only, predictive analytics is possible for this data set, which I used over here. Okay, now, okay, data set is imported. Now let's, first thing is that you have to separate the input and output. Separate an input output. So generally in our predictive analytics, we are using X for input, Y for the output. Okay. Yesterday also you have seen how to access the columns. So in all, column number 0 and 1, column number 0 and 1, I'm using in X, that is input variables, and class is the output variables. That is, these are the independent variables, which are features we call, and this is the label, class, category, output, and dependent variables. So first of all, let's take okay, column number 0 and 1, and sorry, column number 0 and 1, but all the rows in this way it's taken. Can check it out. See, this is input, sweetness and crunchiness. So by using iLock that I have explained yesterday to slice the data. So as per your requirement, you can just make use of the respective functions of accessing the data or slicing the data. So when you build the model, we need to know that what is your input variable, what are the output variables. So input variables are 2, sweetness and crunchiness, output variable is 1. Now as is shown in the example, 2 are taken. It's not required that only 2 features will be there. Any number of features are present, and the distance calculation can be done for any number of features, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30, whatever. Okay. So the data set that we are using, that data set is containing 30 features. Okay, so 30 different things are present, 30 features are present, inputs are present over there. Okay, so don't worry about that. Any number of features can be present there. And now output variable Y, that we are having df of class, correct? Is it a class? Yeah, present. See, these are the classes that we are having: protein, vegetable, and the fruit. Okay, 3 classes and 5, 5, 5 each. A balanced data set. It can call it a balanced data set. All categories of our equal categories, equal number present there. Okay, fine. So input and output. Input is in X, output in Y, that we are defined. And now let's build the model directly. So to build the model, we need to install the sklearn package there. So the sklearn will be installed by using pip command. Scikit-learn. That's the name of the package which we require to install it. Pip install scikit scikit-learn. So already I have having the installation of that package present there. Pip install scikit-learn. So I am having scikit-learn present with 0.23.2, numpy present, scipy present, joblib present, thread pool control present. So these are the dependent packages also which we require to work with scikit-learn already. Okay, so it's already installed. If it is not, then we can install by using this particular command. Now let's use the classes. So in scikit-learn, many small packages are there. Under that packages, many classes are created. If you want to build a model or if you want to use a pre-processing technique for machine learning, so we need to import that classes in your code. And after that, we can build the object of it and then perform the operation of predictive analysis onto it. So let's see from sklearn dot, okay, there's a sub package called as neighbors. In the neighbors sub package, I'm having the class called as k nearest neighbor or k neighbors classifier. See that from sklearn.neighbors import k neighbors classifier, create the object of it. So generally we give the name as classifier, k neighbors classifier, and now here we have to specify how many number of neighbors are present. So this is a model that we can create. So number of neighbors I require 4 that I am comparing with. And now train the algorithm with the given data. Training means fitting the model or fitting the data into the statistical model of that machine learning algorithm. It's called as a training. So let's see. Classifier dot fit. The fit method is train the algorithm with the given data. It will build the model of ML. Fitted, and after that we can do the predictions. Okay, so it's fitted, model is created, and after that, for example, I want to do the predictions of new data set. Let's say tomato. Tomato is containing some features like 6 and 4. 6 is the sweetness and 4 is the crunchiness. I have randomly given, I don't know what exactly values are present there, but tomato, it's okay. 6 and 4. 6 is the crunchiness and sweetness, and 4 is the crunchiness of it. That's I've given here for the tomato. And I have to do the prediction. So here model is created, the model is classifier, its name is given there. Now classifier dot predict tomato. So let's have tomato there. What tomato will show? Tomato is a fruit. See this. Prediction is done. So a few common steps I just shown over here by which you build the model. We use the data, we build the model, then we have done the predictions. Okay, so this is a model building is done, object is created. We have trained the algorithm with the given data. Training, just like extracting the features, and based on that features, build your machine learning model. Okay, that we have seen in the presentation. Exactly same way the model is created here. Once created, then we are using a new data set. This is a new data, okay, that we are using, and same features you have to apply. 2 features are there that we are using X, that we are giving here to tomato, and then giving a tomato identified array. So it's array actually, that's why it can have 0. So it's a fruit. Tomato is a fruit. Let's say one more. Let's take carrot. Directly give the values. I don't know what exactly that they have. Sweetness and crunchiness. Okay, 1 and 8 values are given. Okay, and now let's predict what exactly the carrot is. Vegetable, yeah, it's coming. Correct. So sweetness is 1 for carrot and crunchiness is crunchy 8. Vegetable, like this. This is what we call as classification algorithm. They use the previous data and based on that model is created, then go for the predictive analytics there. But it is not that much simple, which is shown over here. This is very easy actually to do that. But actually when you work on the real world data set, it comes somewhat complicated. Some more things are involved. I'll show that one, what exactly the things are involved in that when you do the predictive analytics on the real world data set. Okay, so check it out. This is how simply the model can be created on the example which I've shown over there. Now let's go for the implementation on the real world data set. Okay, so let's go. So for the actual data set which you have downloaded, actually I have combined the data sets here. Wait a minute, the data set is this, downloaded from 8. Okay, and I have converted to CSV file actually. This one, WDBC data and names. Just see, which I downloaded the UCI machine learning repository. Okay. I'll read the description of it. Where Wisconsin diagnostic data set is okay. Can check it. Okay. The image of the final lead aspirate brain mass, base mass, and describe the characteristic nuclei present in that image. Okay, that they are mentioned over here. Based on that, many things mentioned in it, but will not go into. Tumor detected in the body. Okay, so there is some dimensions. Used here, that dimensions are used, and based on the specific dimensions, okay, based on specific dimensions, we are going to build the model. Okay, so that is containing the data set is very big. You can check attribute information that they are mentioned. So almost how many patient data set is there? Data set is taken from 569 patients. Okay, where we tumor is detected. Okay, 569 patients are there, and for all they are given one ID. Please provide it where the patient's ID is called. Then diagnosis is the second column. Diagnosis. Diagnosis means the tumor detected is malignant or benign. Just like it's malignant or benign. Malignant means it is detected, means the tumor is detected with cancer. Okay. And B means benign. Benign is healthy. This tumor is not detected actually inside it. That's what the B means. Benign. It's a healthy. Okay. Malignant, and B means benign that we are using. And along with that, from 3rd to 32 features computed for each cell nucleus. Okay, for each cell nucleus of that tumor, these features are taken like radius, texture, perimeter, area, smoothness, compactness, concavity, concave point, symmetry, fractal dimension. I actually don't know what exactly they carries, but with the help of that data, I can identify that whether the modeling is possible or can I do the predictive analytics afterwards. Okay, so information about all of them is given in the related papers also. You can just check it out. First time when it was used, 1993, and many it was used by many different papers. Okay, so they are given citing paper. So cited this data set they have given, and which are actually using the data set that's also mentioned over here. Like, okay, so let's see how to do a work with that. I open the data set now and check it. For the information is mentioned there. First is the patient's ID. Second is the diagnosis. Diagnosis means whether this patient is diagnosed with M or B. M, as I told, it is detected malignant, detected in the body, and B means benign, it's healthy. So the tumor detected is actually not containing the cancer. Okay, like that is what benign means. So you can check it out. B and M are present. They are present over here. See this? Okay. So what this exactly is? This is the output variable. Diagnosis, output variable on which the modeling is done. The two classes are there, B and M. Maybe, I don't know, third class is present. It was given there in the presentation or on the UCIML repository. Two classes are there. So we assume that two classes are there. Even by using the methods, by using the functions also, we can identify actually how many classes are there and what's the count of it. That also we can find. Okay, and remaining all other the things like we have seen radius, texture, perimeter, area, smoothness. All of they are mentioned here. So total columns are 32. Out of it, 30 are the features and 2 are this ID and diagnosis. Okay, let's read that and then we'll separate X and Y and then we'll try to build the model of it. So let's check it. We'll create a new file. Yeah, now import. Okay, even we may require others also, so few more packages are required for that. This also we require. Plotly also we require, and Seaborn is also required. Scikit-learn required, but we'll use that when it actually the requirements are coming there. Okay, let's see the data set which is present in your current working directory. So df is equal to pd dot read underscore csv. Its name was wsc dot bc dot underscore pc underscore data dot csv. Check it out. It's just like this. can use it. Fine. Check the dimensions of it. What is that? 569 rows and 32 columns are there. Mean that 32 features, not exactly 30 features are there. Out of that, two are not much required. You can just check the column names here. See this. ID, diagnosis, and many are there. Out of that, ID and diagnosis are not input variables. ID is not actually. So in any of the data set, basically, when it will come to you, it may contain some IDs, serial numbers, roll numbers. They will not have any impact output. So by taking that, it may skew the result. That's why I discard that. Okay, so you can discard IDs, and diagnosis is output variable, and remaining others are the input variables considered there. Okay, so we can take it, or before actually proceeding, we can find that whether any missing values are present there or not. If missing values are present, then you can perform some action to clean the data, as it was shown in the step data cleaning and manipulation. Many tasks are involved in that data cleaning and manipulations that will undergo, and we can we can create a model of it. Okay, we can perform some operations onto it. Imputer, that we call generally it as. So that's it. And let's check the null values and non-null values. So how many non-null are there? Total length of the data is 569. Every column is 560. If some missing values are there, it will show that they are missing. Okay, you can see the common properties are present in that. They are just like, these are the common properties: radius, texture, perimeter, area, smoothness, like, which are present, and their mean is given. After that, SE is there here. After that, the worst values are present there. Okay, see that. That's what column are actually suggesting. Okay, so everyone is having 569 number of. Even one more function is there, by which you can see some dot is null and dot sum. Add it. So actually missing values will be shown by this. Is null means whether any nan present there, not a number or missing value we call, that is present there. If it is present, then it will be added together. How many are present? True are added, and then that number will be shown here. So no true is present for null. All are 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. No missing values are present. So data is clean, and if it is not clean, then we have to perform some operations onto it. Currently, we don't require operations. Okay, so data is clean. Fine. Yeah. So pre-tasks are actually almost all done. Now let's separate the variables. We will separate input and output. Input is in X variable and output in Y variable. So let's take input in X variable. X is equal to df of. So one thing that you can, lot many columns are there. So 0, 1, except 0, 2 onwards, all the columns are the input variables. So what to do? Dot iLog all the rows, comma, 2 onwards, all the columns. See that. If you see the head, you can check it. Choosing the method to perform a specific operation is very important. That's why it's required to know all the methods to extract the data from the data frame. X is equal to df.iLog. Okay, all the rows which I just mentioned, nothing there. It means all the rows are taken. Comma. After comma, the sequence of columns are present. 2 onwards, all the columns. 2 colon. Till the end, all that columns are taken, and if you see the head, can see the data which is considered as the input variables. They are extracted and then they are put into the variable X. X is the data frame. Okay, that's it that we can make use of. And remaining 2, actually input variable are 30 and output variable is 1. 1 is remaining, that is ID, which is discarded, which will not be used by anyone, just not required. So let's see. I just take it. I log all the rows and column number onwards all. And for output variable, we'll have Y is equal to. So let's see the output variables. DF of diagnosis. Okay, diagnosis. Only single column is present. Maximum number of time, almost every time we have the single output variable. So out of all the columns, diagnosis your output variable is, and if you see that, can check it. It's a series object created there, which contain the combinations of B and M. See, it's a snapshot shown there. It's just truncated in between, but to know how many actually classes are present, how many actual classes are present, or how many count are present for the respective class, that also we need to identify first. And by that also some different conclusions can be found. Okay. So let's see DF of diagnosis. It's Y shown. Now let's see the unique values present inside. It means value should not be repeated. We have seen on the first day there's a data structure called as set. That also we can use. If you write set of Y, we can check how many unique values are there. See that B and M, only two are there. Distinct or unique values present in the output variable that we can find with the help of the function set, or in NumPy also there is a function that we can make use of np.unique y. Now see, it's showing in the array format, set is showing in the set format, array. So B and M, two elements are there which are uniquely present inside my variable y. Okay, inside the variable y. Okay, so two classes are there. So we know that now our doubt is clear. Only two classes are present. Either you are going to predict that tumor to benign, or you are going to predict that to the malignant. B healthy, M not healthy, means detected. That's what your output we are expecting from there. Correct. np.unique. Yeah. Now one more way is there. We know that it's okay. But there is a concept called as balancing the data set. As in the first example I explained about it, the data for protein, for vegetable and for the fruit it was same 555. So data was balanced. For every class, similar number of entries are present inside it. Now we can check that whether here also similar number of entries are present or not. Similar number of entries. So B also 50% and M 50%. Is it the case? By using some graphs we can see. Okay, so let's see a graph. Like there's a graph called as count plot that we can use from the SNS. SNS dot count plot, and give a parameter to it as Y. And see the count plot now. Yeah. M entries are almost 220 somewhere. Okay, or 225. Somewhere that, and B entries are many. So many patients which are detected with the tumor were benign. There's the tumor was not detected there, but the dimensions are kept there to have a differentiation between B and M separately. Okay, so M almost 200 to 225, 210 to 25, something like that. And for B, you can see almost 350 entries are present for that. Out of 569, this is what we have. But now the problem here is that we can observe, the observations are like the data is imbalanced. Okay, imbalanced data setting basically. And to perform operations with it means we have to balance the data set. Actually, I'm not going to balance it. You can try it afterwards. It may take some time to perform. To balance the data set, there are many methods are used, where either you can make lower class to higher class, or you can make higher class to lower class. Means either I can make both as 350 by incrementing these values, or both we can make 200 by decrementing these values, but truncating these values basically, and keeping both at the same level. That's possible. So either you can increment or decrement. So two methods are there. They're called as random oversampling. Okay, or oversampling is increment the values, and second is random undersampling. And one more is there, it is SMART, which we can use. SMART is like oversampling, just like that we can use it. So after that technique, data can be balanced. It can be balanced. You can make use of it, and after that we can increase the accuracy of that algorithm also. currently balancing is not there, so this technique can be applied. But we'll use the same data ahead as it is, and then we'll check the performance of them. Counter, then x and y are separate. Okay, now there is one more method is there that we need to remember here. Two more techniques I'll show. Next is that you have to detect whether the outliers are present or not. Outliers. So like outliers. Okay. Outlier. Outlier means the thing or the point which does not follow the crowd. Okay. The criteria of the crowd or the features of the crowd. Features of crowd. Crowd means that someone, for example, in the data set, consider the roll number, not roll number, ages are given, age. So in a class, age, minimum age is 19 and maximum is 22, for example, for all the students. And one of the student is age is 35. So that 35 is the outlier, which does not follow the ranges of the crowd. That is what we call as the outlier. So that outlier also may skew the result. If some outlier, 4, 5, 10 outliers are present, accordingly model will be changed. And that may not generate the correct output. So that case, we have to either detect and delete. Detect is okay, but removal is required. So we'll remove the outliers. So to remove the outliers, we are having some techniques that we can make use of it. There is a technique called as one class SVM that we use, and one more is there called as isolation forest. Okay, that can be used to perform operations with. Okay, outlier detection. And for removal, we can make use of one class SVM or isolation forest to work on that. If it is there, then only. And even correlation things can also be identified. Means one feature is correlated with other or not. So how much correlation is there? If it is there, then only use it. Like that all statistical methods are present that we can make use there. And one more important step that we require here, all the data pre-processing, and it's coming under all manipulation processing there. It's called as cross-validation technique. Okay, cross-validation. Now, in case of cross-validation, this is this we are going to see now why to do the cross-validation and how it is actually done. We will build the model of that machine learning system here. Okay, but after building the model, whether the model created is perfect or not, that we can find with the help of the cross-validation. Validation of that model will be done on the actual data. So cross-validation techniques are used. Generally, in cross-validation, many techniques are used. Out of it, very commonly technique I will show. That's what we call as a train test split. This technique is used to validate your data. Means finding the accuracy of the data or checking whether the model created is working perfectly or not. That cross-validation technique we require. So in the data set which are already available with, in that we are going to perform some operations. And along with that, many more are there that may not be required. I'll just show you what exactly the cross-validation will do here. Okay. Let's see. What do you mean by the cross-validation? Now, generally, the data set are of two different types, generally that we use in ML. One we call as a training data, and second is the testing data. Those who are already knowing the machine learning technique, they might have heard about this particular thing, what exactly it means. The training data in machine learning is used actual data set to train the model for performing various actions. Building the model of machine learning, predictive analytics is done with the help of the training data. And testing data is to check that whether the model created is working perfectly or not. Okay, testing the model whether it is responding or working appropriately or not. That is what called testing data. Let's see that how exactly it is done. That will have the demo from that. Let's take an example data set I'm having here. A is my input variable, B is the output variable. So as we have seen, X is the input, Y is the output. Okay, so that data I'll divide into two parts. So out of all, randomly 2/3 entries are there in the testing data. Randomly are shown sequentially, but that has actually randomized after that. It will be randomized after that. Okay, so that 2/3 data or 75% data will go to training data, training input and training output, and 25% data will keep aside. 25% data We will keep aside 33 is given here, 1/3, but 25 can also be taken. We keep upside X test and Y test. What we will do? We will create the model of machine learning on this data. Input output. Input is this, output is this. We'll build the model on this data. And once the model is created, we'll apply this as the input, X test as the input. And we will check that whether the algorithm is generating Y test or not. Okay, Y test or not. So it will predict the output Y pred. That Y pred and Y test will compare and check that how many entries are correct and how many entries are wrong. So the percentage of that matching will show you the accuracy of this algorithm, which is working on that. This is called as the cross validation. Where model is created, but it is perfectly working or not. What's the accuracy of it that we can see? So computer generated values, algorithm generated values, and the system generated already present values in the data set, which are Y test, that we will compare and then check how many entries are matching, how many are not. So here, check it out. The algorithm will be trained with the training data, whether X is the input and Y is the output. Once the algorithm is trained with the training data, X test data will be given. That is, again, new inputs are given, test inputs are given to the algorithm to predict the output. The predicted output, Y pred, will be compared with Y test to check the accuracy score of the algorithm. So predicted by algorithm, and originally we have in the data set, they are compared together to check the accuracy of it. There are some ways present in the statistics in machine learning that we will use to check the accuracy of the algorithm by some methods. That also I'll show you how these methods are actually used to perform the operations with, and based on that we are going to identify that this data is suitable for this algorithm, or this algorithm is suitable for this kind of the data. This is called as the cross validation. This is a common technique to do. Basically, we use this technique inside it. Previously, in Python, it was possible to use from cross validation. Now, today it's present in the model selection. With the help of that, you can perform the operations of selecting it. Okay. Now, what we will do? We know that total 569 rows are there in this data set. Out of that, randomly 75% data. Okay. So, what we will do? 75% data is stored for training the algorithm. Okay. And remaining random, remember, so again not taken in the sequence. Random is for the testing. So we know that total number of elements present here are 569. Out of that 569, 75% entries will go to training, and remaining 25% entries will go for testing. Test that whether algorithm is created for this data set is perfect or not. Yeah. So to do this one, I'll be using the sklearn now. Under the sklearn, I'm having a sub package called as the model selection. Inside that, there's a function called as train test split, which is used to split the data in two parts, and then we'll be using it for performing the predictive analytics there. Okay, so remember that. Yeah, let's see how to do this. Sklearn dot model selection will import train test split. Okay, so this function I'll be using. This function returns 4 values actually, that we have seen in the diagram: X test, Y test, X train, Y train. Okay, let's see how to do this one. So training data, test input, training output, and testing output. Okay. Train test split. First parameter given is X, second is Y, input output. Then just a minute, Y, and one more parameter is called test size. What size you require for the test data set, that will be providing 0.25. Okay, 0.25 means 25% data I require in testing, and remaining 75% data will go to training. Okay, and there is one more parameter I provide is random. Data is taken randomly, I'll keep the seed point common for all. That is the random state equal to 0. X train, X test, Y train, Y test, split, X, Y, test size give 0.25, and random state I'm keeping random state seed point for randomization of the data. And I have executed it. See this. Okay, fine. Now, let's see how splitting is actually done. I'll show the shape of X train data. Train dot shape. Sorry, train. Yeah. See, out of 569, 426, that is 75% entries are stored into X train and X test. 143 are present. 143 are present in the test data set. Split it. Okay, the data set that splitting that we have seen in the presentation, the same is done over here, and you can see the output 426, 143. And let's see that they are in the sequence or not. They are in the sequence. So basically, we have given the randomization. So if you see the head of the training data, you can check it out. 293, 332, 565, 278, 489. Randomly, data is taken. Row number are different. So in train also, if you go for the test, it is completely randomized. Okay. So by randomization, proper accuracy achievement is possible. So after the data is splitted in the 4 parts, X train, X test, Y train, Y test, you can see that perfect 70.25% splitting is done there. And now we will use only these 426 entries to build the model of machine learning here. Okay. So in this way, you just can check the shape. Okay, done. So data is splitted well, and now can validate that data, validate the model on the given data. Likewise, many more techniques are there that we can use. So there is one more technique called as the K-split is also present. K-fold, certified K-fold is there. K-fold cross-validation is present that we can use to validate the data perfectly. Many different techniques are present and available to perform operation, that kind of operation on the given data. Okay. So this is how the validation is done, and now we are going to build the model. We are going to build the model. Maybe some pre-processing techniques are required, but we'll formulate that afterwards, after building the model correctly. So just like in the previous example, I have imported the class. I'll be importing from here also. K neighbors classifier. Okay, so sklearn, which is I'm using here when I installed Python scikit-learn, and it is sklearn here because it contains a dash in between, and that dash is a special character which is not allowed here. That's why they have shortened the name sklearn. Inside that neighbors is a package. Inside that this classifier is used. Okay, I'll just show you the website, official website of scikit-learn, and let's see. It's a bunch of all machine learning libraries and pre-processing technique that we can do from that. Let's take an overview of it, and then we'll come back to your original problem statement here. See, scikit-learn is a library which is used to perform the machine learning using Python. It contains simple and effective tools for predictive analytics. See this? Accessible to everyone and reusable in various contexts, built on NumPy, SciPy, and Matplotlib. Open source, commercially usable, and what we need? Classification, algorithms, all erasing nearest neighbors, random forest, SVM, okay, regression, many non-linear all regressions are present, clustering, K means spectrum shift, okay, dynamic reduction, or NA, model selection. Just we have used the cross-validation of trend test split here. Pre-processing. I'll show you one pre-processing technique maybe from this end. So these are tasks that are can be the machine learning in Python, and the algorithm which is present here, that is the K nearest neighbor. Now see, in machine learning, not many algorithms are there. Thousands of algorithms actually present. Out of that, few effective algorithms are present here that we can implement with the help of the scikit-learn library. See this. These are the linear models, linear quadratic model. Now SV models, stochastic and near models. Got processing, new model and multiple supervised isotonic regression, probability, like all. So all these are present classes. If you go to nearest neighbor, you can see the detailed implementation of that particular nearest neighbors or k nearest neighbor here in this. So everything is given on with detailed and proper description. So here I am using k neighbors classifier, this one. Okay, and detailed information that is given here. This is a class which contains some default arguments as well as the keyword argument that you are allowed to change the values of them. Okay, so as I am going to implement k neighbors classifier, it contains one parameter there. That is what we have, the number of neighbors. Okay, how many neighbors you have to compare? So default value is 5. If you don't give that value, 5 will be taken as the parameter. It's a constructor shown. Then how weight is there, what's algorithm you are using, leaf size, and many more. Okay, which distance calculation method you are using, like all. So all that information that you can find on the official website of the scikit-learn, how to use it, explanation of every parameter present there with some example also. You can see how it has identified it. Okay, detailed description of it. You can just go through that website and check the implementation of that over here. Okay, that's what the k neighbors classifier. Not talking about the k neighbors classifier, but any kind of machine learning algorithm and its help if you want to find, and if you want to use that algorithm using scikit-learn, so you can go to their website and check it out. So open source, really available, anyone can install it and use it in the code. Okay, so sklearn.neighbors, k neighbors classifier. Out of all the features which are given over here, okay, all the keywords, okay, you can check keyword arguments are there. These are the keyword arguments. Out of all, if you don't give anything, then it says okay, the number of neighbors 5, but you are allowed to change these values also. You can change that. Let's create the object classifier. So object name k neighbors classifier, and there is a parameter that you can pass is number of neighbors. So let's say some number of neighbors I will pass. Number of neighbors I will keep 5. So 5 nearest neighbor will be found. Out of it, in which category maximum neighbors are present, in that the classification of that tumor will be done. So we are building a model. Again, next time when new patient is coming and you have to predict that whether that tumor is cancerous or not cancerous, so you can make use of this data and will do the predictions on that particular data using the machine learning model. So here we are using neighbors classifier. Classifier is created with this. If you want to have more parameters, that's also okay, but currently we are not using that. So let's see, classifier dot fit. It's called a training the data, training the algorithm with the given data. So let's use training data only, x train, y train. So this is what we are training, as I explained. Training, okay, training the data for the given algorithm we are done. Okay, it's fitted well, and now we will do the predictions. What predictions? How exactly we are going to check it? Means accuracy of algorithm we have to find. So let's go to this again. What we have done? We are giving 75% data in training, 25% here in testing. We are building the model with this entries only, which was 469 something, I think, and remaining 143 entries I have kept here. So after building the model, what we will do, we'll apply this data as input, and we'll check that model is creating this as the output or not, these y test as the output or not. It is generating that y test as the output or not, that we can find. Fine. Now that's what we are going to do here now. So let's use y pred is equal to classifier dot. So predict is a method which we use to perform the predictions on the given test samples. See this, predict yPredict is equal to classifier.predict x test. So new 143 inputs are given to it, new 143 outputs are generated, and you want to check it. See, it is new predicted output from the algorithm yPred. So algorithm has predicted these outputs by it, just like following the model of the machine learning which k nearest neighbor uses. Every 143 entry, or every entry of out of 143 is predicted with it. Okay, and it's stored in sequence in yPred. And if you go to check y test, see y test, it also contains the similar kind of entries there, but it is in series format. That's why it's shown in the single column. I'll show one method that will make these entries in front of each other. Let's see this. By using the data frame, I can make use of it. Data frame. Okay, let's do one thing there. First is the actual value which are present in the data set that we called as y test, and predicted values. Predicted values which are y pred from the algorithm. Fine. That's how data frame is generated. And let's see that. See, you can check it. Actual in the data set, they are in y test, and once the model is created, and then we can check that whether model created is perfectly working on this data or not. So we have created it and then predicted. So you can see actually M was there, predicted M, B, and here it is wrong. Actually B was present but predicted as malignant. Correct. If you come below BB, MM, BB, MM, so only one misclassification is there. But out of 143, these are the truncated values which are present in between that you can't see. Okay, so we require a summary of all. How many entries are matching and how many are not matching. Based on that, we can identify how accurate the algorithm is working on the given data. And this is possible for all the classification algorithm that we can use. Not only talking about KNN, only this statement will change. These statements will change, and remaining order will be almost like same. Okay, so how many are matching out of 143 will show you the accuracy of the given algorithm there. How many are matching and how many are not matching actually. So to show that one, we are having one concept called as the confusion matrix. Okay, so if you are knowing the machine learning, might be heard about the concept of confusion matrix. With the help of confusion matrix, summary of the actual values and the predicted values can be seen. Summary of actual values and the predicted values can be seen. And that summary we will see with the help of the confusion matrix function. So I'll show that one output and then we'll talk about that. So see this from sklearn dot matrix. Again in sklearn itself all these functions are present. See, sklearn dot matrix will import the function confusion matrix, and now confusion matrix will summarize how many entries are matching and how many are not matching. So see this. Y test, which is actual value, and Y pred is the predicted value. Now see this. This is summary shown here. Now it will be difficult to understand right now, but let's see what exactly it means. On the row side, in this side, these are the actual values present. Actual count means in 143, these 90 values were for the B class, Benin class, and 53 are for the malignant class. Okay. In actual data set are present. That we have the Y test data set in actually 90 for B class and 53 were from the M class. Okay, and when we predict it, when we have predicted it, that time what is the scenario? Column 89, 85 plus 4, 89 are of B class and 54 are of M class. Okay, but how many are matching or not matching? So you can just check it. B and B is matching 85 times out of 90. Out of 90, 85 times B and B are matching. Correct. And out of 53, 49 times M and M are matching. See, B and M are not written here, but they are actually sorted according to the ascending order of it. So B will come first and then M will go. Fine. So B and B are matching 85 times, M and M are matching 49 times. It means that how many are matching? 85 plus 49, or 5 plus 4 are mismatching there. 5 plus 4 are mismatching, and 85 plus 49 are matching. And what's the meaning of 5 and 4? So these 4 entries in the actual data set are given as M, malignant, but predicted as P. Here, predicted are on column side. Actual data set there contains M, but predicted as B. And this 5, in actual data set there are B, but predicted as M. Okay, that is. Actual data set is B, predicted as M. Just inverse, just check it out. Here, which is shown there. Actual data set contains B, but predicted as M. Okay. Actual data set contains B here and predicted as M. That is 5 entries are there. And just note that actual data set it is containing B, sorry, M predicted as B but. So 9 are mismatching, 85 and 49 plus are matching. Now let's see, we'll just make use of it. That is, out of 143, 9 are mismatching, means 134 are matching, divided by 143 into 100. 93.70. That is the accuracy of this algorithm. Means the predictive modeling with the help of the k nearest neighbor is possible onto it. Okay. Predictive modeling has become possible by that, and 93%. Generally, when you deploy the algorithm, we generally consider at least 80% accuracy should be present. But it is 93%. Maybe this accuracy will go ahead. Maybe it can reach 100% also, maybe. But you have to do some operation like I have shown about outlier detection technique, resampling. That is balanced, not balanced actually. So after balancing also his accuracy will change. Or outlier are not removed. Also after that also will change. Or one more technique is there. We'll talk about it and then we'll go to perform more operations in this. Okay. So this is how accuracy calculated. And not only that, there are function also that we can use. So from sklearn dot metrics, let's import the function called accuracy score that I can use, and I can make use of accuracy score y test y parade into 100. See that same number is there. Accuracy score for by comparing x test, y test and y parade can be found. That is 93.70%. Okay. Now there is one more method by which we can see the analysis of that particular data, and that is called as the classification report. Let's see that. So for every separate class, the report can be shown. That's what is called as classification report. I'll just print that for y test and y parade. Okay, so total, let's see the summary of all the result that you have achieved. So we can identify that the model is created perfectly, and now we can do the predictions onwards. Okay, now let's see this. Here in this entry, precision, recall, F1 score and supports are given. Support means the count. In 143, 90 entries are of B class, 53 are of M class. The B and M are given there. This is the overall accuracy. In summary, so 793.70, that's why it is 94% given there. This is recall. Individual class matching is 94% for B and 92% for M. Okay, so this is what the recall is. Precision is the predictive accuracy actually. What is the true positive rate that it contains? That's what precision contains. So it is 96 and 91. So they are almost in the similar range present. F1 score is the harmonic mean of precision and recall, 95, 92. General mean is also almost same there. But in all, we are having 94% accuracy, and that is good. That we can identify its very good accuracy that is present over here. Now, if you want to do single entry prediction, we'll see that, and again we'll come back to perform many more operations to do the predictive predictions of it. Let's say a new patient is there. Any new patient is present, and that new patient's entry you have to give, and then you have to perform the predictions of it. Let's say I'll go to data set. Anyone, I will take it. Let's see. For example, this entry. Okay, which is Benin. For example, a new patient is coming. New patient whose entry is 358. So basically, it is 57 in if you start from the 0. Okay, so 357, 356 actually, because first column is also present. Column names are there. 357, 356 is present there. We'll use this entry, and on that entry, we will check that the algorithm predicting what, whether it is benign or malignant, that we will see. So in the data frame, let's see, let's have new df of the row number 356, comma, all the columns are taken. It's missing. Sorry, slicing can be done. iLock. Yeah. Okay, yeah, single row I have taken from there. See, single row, I have taken all the values are present inside it. ID, diagnosis, or all are present over there. So I don't require all. So let's take from X itself. Yeah, only inputs are there. 356 where 13.05, 18.59 are present. So where is that? Correct. 2 are less because first is the row numbers, column names, and start from 0. That's why this entry, 350 entry, 356 entry present here are matching correctly. Okay, this entry is there, which is B actually. Okay, so when new patient is coming, and for new patient, all of these dimensions can be given as input. All of this, see, all dimensions are present, and I'll provide this dimension as input here. Okay, I'll provide these dimensions as the input. And based on this dimension, I'll identify whether that particular tumor detected is benign or malignant. Now let's see that. This is a new entry. I'll leave the prediction. New entry I got. Predict. Okay, predict on new. Let's check what's missing. Okay. It should be a column vector. Then only it will do. It should be a column vector to convert to column vector. Okay, just wait. Just a minute. Column vector is not created. Values. Just a minute. Okay. Check this. Okay, so by using this value, prediction is possible. Let's see that one. Now the output that I have achieved from here is containing 94% accuracy. One topic I have not completed with the presentation. Now let's talk about that particular point and then we'll proceed further. Let's see. There's a concept of pre-processing is called as the min-max normalization. Now this is one of the pre-processing steps required for many different kind of algorithms here. It's called as a scaling method. Why actually we do? Why actually these operations are required? Okay, so let's see that. Basically, what happens in the real world data set, which contain the features that are highly vary in magnitude, units, and range. Okay, magnitudes are different, ranges are different, units are different. So in that case, we have to normalize your data. normalization that should be performed when the scale of feature is irrelevant or misleading and should not be normalized when the scale is meaningful. Now, when the algorithm which uses the Euclidean distance measure are sensitive to magnitudes, see Euclidean distance measures, the feature scaling or the normalization, two techniques are there which are used to weigh all the features equally. Formally, if a feature in the dataset is big in scale compared to others, then algorithm where Euclidean distance is measured, this big scale feature becomes dominating and needs to be normalized. See, if we have seen the formula of Euclidean distance there at a time all the features are taken. All the features are taken to find the result. Now see, in such cases, when Euclidean distance formulas are used in the algorithms, when any feature in its input column is having high values, so that will become dominating. When it is containing high magnitude, it will become dominating in the output, means it will have a high impact in the output. And which are not having the higher range, they will have lower impact in the output. High impact and lower impact. The impact will be different because their magnitudes are different. This should not happen. Every feature should have a same impact in the output. The feature should weigh equally. So to weigh them equally, two methods are used. Out of it, first method we call as a feature scaling, and second method is called a normalization. Remember, this pre-processing step is required only for the algorithms which are using distance formulas, or the algorithm which uses all the features at a time in the model. All the features at a time in the model while classification. All the features at a time in the model while classification. So it is required to understand how machine learning model of that ML algorithm is actually built. If you know that all the features are used at a time, then only this technique are required. Generally, except decision tree and random forest algorithms, remaining other algorithms in classification system, feature scaling and normalization required. So by using that, we achieve two things. By using feature scaling, we keep the deviation of all the columns same. Okay, by using the technique which is presented over here, is called a standardization, feature scaling. The deviation of all the column will be same and almost equal to 1, that will be kept. And there is one more technique used for normalization, is called as the scaler. Min-max scaler. This is what shown on that presentation, min-max scaler. What it does, it will scale the data in the same range. That is the range where minimum value is 0 and maximum is 1. So the formula shown over here, z is equal to x minus minimum of x divided by max of x minus min of x. That will be used to scale the data within the same range. For example, first column is ranging from 1 to 10 and second column is from 1000 to 10,000. So obviously, second column will be dominating in the feature. So what we have to do, we have to scale them down or scale up so that the feature will have similar impact in the output. Remember. So that case, relation plays very important role, not magnitude. So generally in machine learning, magnitude should not be the parameter which will affect the output finally. Relation is important. So based on the relation of the data, the machine learning models are built. That's why we have to normalize the data. Let's see the effect of normalization, what we will see in the output. Now see. Let's go back. But we have the 93% accuracy here. Now what we will do, we will normalize the data completely and then we'll perform the operation of the building the model and checking the results. Okay, so where we have separated it. We have separated the data and okay, so before here we have separated the data. So before separation, we will do this particular step. I'll just show you. I'll insert one more cell above, and that is required to scale the data for k nearest neighbor. Obviously, Euclidean distance formula is used to build the model. So that case, normalization of the data is required. But before that, whether actually required or not, that also you have to identify. How to? So let's see that. For example, in X, I'll apply the describe method. Describe method will show you the description of all statistical properties here. Now you check it, standard deviation. Deviation of every column is different. You can see area mean is 351, okay, and smoothness mean is 0.01. So too much difference is there. You can just check, these ranges are different. Even minimum value of smoothness 0.05 and maximum value is 0.163. See, Even maximum value is also far ahead of with minimum value of area mean. So it means that area mean will have high impact in the output. It's dominating to generate the result. And smoothness mean will not be dominating. It is not having any impact in the output, though it is correlated with the output there also. Because all the features are used at a time in the model. That's what the Euclidean distance is used here. So what we'll do, we'll normalize all. You can check the other features also. Everyone have different deviation or everyone have different ranges. Okay, minimum, maximum. See, 6.98, maximum 28. Here 9.71. For this 143 and 2501. Too much difference is there. So dominating feature will be present here. So what we will do, either we can perform the feature scaling or we can perform the normalization. So in the presentation I mentioned the normalization. So let's use normalization. I'll show feature scaling also if possible. So let's see. I'll just add one more row here. And the normalization. So from again scale, so we'll be pre-processing technique. Import the min max scalar. Okay. Create the object of the scalar, min max scalar, and then perform the operations on the input data set. So let's have scaled is equal to scalar dot transform. This method is to apply the operation on it. Now see. Scale. Min-max scalar is a class which I imported, created the object of it, and then I applied the data, applied the particular operation of scaling, min-max scaling on the X. Now, if you see these data set, which is now generated after the min-max scaling. So let's see that X scaled. Okay, sorry. Scaled, correct, and then we'll describe that. Yeah, see this. If you check the minimum value of all, it is 0, and all of the values are scaled within the same range. See, maximum is 1, and all other values are scaled within the same range. Minimum is 0 everywhere, and maximum is 1 everywhere. You can see this. Fine. Correct. So in this way, the scaling is performed. You can check the range is same. Okay, this is the first method that we do normalization with. Second, I will show, and then I will go ahead. Okay, so use method now scale the data. Now use the scale the data to perform the splitting. So here we have done the splitting of the data where original data set was used. Now I will use the scale data. Split it. Perfect. Then data I have scaled, and then I have go ahead. Sorry, it does not contain the header method because now it transform into the array format from the data frame format. Now let's go import, create the object, fit it, predict it, and check the predictions now. Okay, almost same are there. Maybe here also check this. You might have observed that this is changed. It was B and M, now it is BB previously. And now let's say in confusion matrix, what was previous comparisons? 9 were actually missed. Okay, and now see this 4 0. Yes, 4 0. So only 4 are missing. It is 139 now. Now accuracy score of algorithm is 97.20%. Almost by 4%, our accuracy is increased. 3.5 to 4%. See this. And if you come below, yeah, it is 94 and 92 here. You can check now, recall B class is perfectly matched 100%, and here we have 92% accuracy. Like that. Because data is scaled. That's why dominating feature and not dominating feature, they are now at equal phase. All will be having the similar impact in the output. Similar impact in the output, and we can see that how the result is generated. So we are having high accuracy, almost 97%. Without the data balancing or without outlay removal also, we are getting this accuracy. Maybe even feature extraction technique can also be applied. which will take the dominating features, means only high important features in the output. And when the high important features are taken, so in that case, most of the time it happens that we can have good accuracy for the same. Okay, like this. In this way, we have created the accuracy, we identified the accuracy of this particular algorithm. Okay, and now one more technique is there that we can use here to perform operations with. That's for feature scaling. Okay, so let's insert that, and from klearn dot, again pre-processing, we are having the method called as standard scaler, okay, which is doing the feature scaling, which makes deviation of all the columns same. We can see the deviations here, deviation equal to 1, but here no same deviations are there, almost in the same range, but not unique deviation that they are standard deviation I'm talking about. Okay, standard scaler, and now x scaled data is equal to scalar dot, again fit transform to x. Okay, so let's apply it. Now this scale data I will use, scale by the standard scaler. Can observe it now. Now for this case, which is if the scaler is applied, you can observe the deviation now. Deviation is now same, almost equal to 1. Not exactly 1, but almost equal to 1. Deviation is common for all with the help of feature scaling that is done. The impact of features in the output, all 30 features in the output is correct. Now let's click. Okay. Repeated. Repeated. Okay. Oh, now 5 are mismatching. 5 are mismatching there. Now it is 95% accuracy, negative. But for min-max scaling is the perfect method that is applied to the same. Now here we have recall, individual class accuracy of class B is 99%, one mismatch is there, and here it is 89, it is reduced actually. Fine, in this way. 95% accuracy you have achieved. So by comparison of this, min-max scaler is performing well, where the data is scaled well within the similar range, so that a perfect model or output can be generated from this particular technique here. And this model we will use further to do the prediction, just like the thing which I've seen over here. Where is that? This one. Okay, fit it. We are training it, and then we are doing the predictions over here. Okay, so we are predicting it. So either the tumor detected by that particular data, tumor detected inside the body of a particular patient is B or M that we can find. And now finally, one more point that we'll talk. I have given the value of K randomly here, 5, but there is no any specific key. But we will see how the value of K. So K is a hyperparameter actually, which is the data is required. So every algorithm of machine learning will have different parameters. Like if you go to check the random forest, so number of neighbors we require, sorry, number of trees we require. If you go to SVM, I require to apply the kernel, which kernel you have to use. Okay. And many more such algorithms are there where we can pass the hyperparameters. You identify ideal value of the hyperparameters there. So how do you use it? So let's see that. I'll just show you a trial error method here, by which you can identify that this value is common or this value will be perfectly suitable for the value of K. So I'll just write a simple loop where we will start the value of K from some value equal to 1 and we will stop till some number like 40 to 50. Let's say 40. And we will do the operation. For example, for K in range, using the for loop, we can do there, start from 1 till 40. Okay, value of K. Let's build the classifier equal to neighbors equal to K. Okay, then feed that data. Okay, let's use this original scale data. Remember, I need to execute the previous task again. Train, then ypred predict it, fire dot predict on X test. Okay, done, and then we'll have one array here, list here, which will store the accuracy of all of them. So acc dot append accuracy score of y test and y parade, like that. Okay, so what I've done, repetitively I've created the object of k neighbors classifier from starting from k equal to 1 to 40. Every time value of k I am changing here, number of neighbors I am changing. So as per the number of neighbors are changing, my different model is created, fitted, trained. Okay, we have predicted it by using classifier.predict x test predicted, and based on that we are identifying the accuracy of it. Okay, 1 to 40. And finally I'll show you how value of k is affecting the performance of the algorithm. So hyperparameters are very important to make use of them in the machine learning, that ideal value should be done, then only performance of the algorithm, of ML algorithm, will be perfect in our cases. So let's plot it. plt dot plot. Okay, so on x axis I will have the value of the k, okay, 41, and on y axis I will have the accuracy. Okay. How accuracy is changing, that we will show over here. So plt dot x label. So on x side we have the k value, and on the y side we will have the accuracy. Okay, and let's plot it. Okay, so one more thing, I'll write it here. Marker dot, and make it big. The size is 16 by 9. Now see this. Check how actually it's affecting. Here are the accuracies are present. Okay. According to the data set, this scale data, correct? Yeah. Minimax scale is required for that. Correct. Where the highest accuracy is present. This one, 91% accuracy. That data I'm using, min-max scale data, and now see this. Now check out. This is how the accuracies are there. When value k equal to 1, from here accuracy start increasing. Here again, see 94, 94, 95, 95, 96, 96, 97. So somewhere from value 5 to value almost 18, almost similar accuracies are there. The value of 10, 11, 12, 13, same accuracy is achieved over here. 97 point something here also, or 5 also, 6 also, 8 also, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, like that. Accuracies are same. And as you start increasing the number of value of k, accuracy is decreasing actually. So let's make it 101. Here also we require 101. And let's see. Accuracies of it. According to value of k I am changing. Here highest accuracies are in this range. Then decreasing towards 95%. Okay, here almost constant at 95% for many k. Again decreasing, again it's reaching somewhere some other value. So highest value of k that I can keep is 153, 143, which is the total number of elements that we have. And let's see, 141. Okay, now see, as you start, so here it is somewhat constant, but it is almost at 95%. But the problem is that when you increase the number of values, number of neighbors to compare, automatically the speed for predictive analytics will go on decreasing. Currently we have a very small data set is very small, but whenever we are having the data set which is large, okay, in that case it may create the problem. Okay, in that case it may create the problem, and we need to work on many different operations on that, many different things like hyperparameter feature extraction should be done perfectly, so that perfect feature will be taken as the input, and then we'll do the analytics, predictive analytics on that data so much perfectly. So in this way we can do the predictions on the given data. So what exactly the model that we have created on the given data set, whatever data set is presented to us from user, it's the data, but 30 features we are taken, and based on that 30 features, we are identifying the result. We are identifying this dependent variable there. So dependent variable and the input variables, that is independent variables, are correlated to each other by 97% when you are doing that particular operation. So 90% we got accuracy. So we can identify 97% accurately. We can identify that the particular tumor is correct, is benign or the malignant. Okay, without doing all of these operations. So three steps which are which I have not included inside it that may be required, as we have seen data manipulation and data pre-processing tasks there. In that first step, we can check that data is balanced or not balanced. So when data is balanced, then we'll go ahead. So similar entry for BINM is required. Second, we have to detect the outliers. We have to focus on that, detect it, remove it. Detection and removal. This is also one of the way by which the results can be improved. Detect and perform operations with that. And the third case is that you have to extract the features perfectly. So two things are there: feature selection and feature extraction. Generally, some dimensionality reduction techniques are used where PCA, LDA we can apply to extract the important features which will perfectly classify your data, as well as we can make use of some feature selection methods also, like for example RFE method is there, recursive feature elimination method, which you generally use, or some wrapper methods are present, some filter methods are there. Based on that, the useful features mean the input variables that will be extracted. Data set is actually very big, 30 means is very big. Generally, in general cases, we don't have the 30 features in general databases. This is the highest maybe number of features are there in a healthcare data set. No other contains that. Maybe 10, 20, 10 to 15 maximum number of entries will be available for the healthcare data sets. So this is the way that we are going to do the common predictive analytics on the data set from the healthcare, and algorithm which we have seen, it's k-nearest neighbor. We have seen that exactly the classification system works on that. Okay, many more algorithms are there that we can check it on scikit-learn, and if you are studying some concepts of the predictive analytics or machine learning or AI, in that also many algorithms are present. Their implementation also present there. Almost similar way the classification system behaves. You can to change the algorithm and do the predictive analytics on the given data set. In this way, you can do it. So that's from my side. If you have any questions or any kind of the doubts, so you can ask. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful session. Participants, if anyone having query, they can ask. Yes, no one? Okay, I'm here to propose a vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank our, sorry? Someone is saying
Sir,
something?
am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir,
You can
just
talk.
I want to ask one thing.
Yeah.
First of all, it is a very informative session. I have
Thank
tried
you,
so
sir.
many algorithms. Just I want to ask one thing. Means,
Yeah.
okay, it is a very great thing that you have shown the array where we can store all the accuracies. So with the same method, we have to check what may be the correct value of k for that particular data set.
So actually, see, correct value of k means ideal value of k that cannot be identified. Generally, we use these methods by which you can find it. In some of the books, it is written that check that square root of training samples at the ideal value of k. But accordingly, it is not the case. Ideal value is not the square root of the training samples. We have to perform operations like that, or we can just choose any value by using the for loop. Minimum value 3, maximum 10 most of the time. So whenever I'm using value of k nearest neighbor algorithm, maximum number of time, ideal value I found between 3 to 10. And generally in some research paper also it is written that they have also proved that value of k should be between 3 to 9. And somewhere written that it should be the square root of the training samples. And somewhere they are using this method to check by using iterative methodology. So standard method is not there. Even I have not found which is the standard method by which we can choose the value of k. but generally use iterative method by which you just use trial and error and minimum value 3, maximum value 10. Within that, whichever is giving highest accuracy, we can find. Second method I will show, I'll identify that this is a concept called as cross validation. Grid search CV is the method. Grid search cross validation we can use, or random search cross validation is also there. What they do, we can specify some values of k to them, like I want to check whether k equal to 2, 5, 8, 12, 13, 15, 16, and all other parameters. This is actually, they are called hyperparameter tuning methods. They will check all the combinations of all that hyperparameters and will check, identify that which is the highest, which is the ideal combinations of them. That will be shown by grid search cross validation. Hyperparameter tuning method is there. Even in that also, I'm having some flaws. Means, for example, in one of the data set, I got ideal value 21 for k, but grid search is showing 15. That is also happened. So I don't think that this is the ideal method that we can use. Cross validation technique, hyperparameter tuning technique. One method I found very effective, that's called a genetic algorithm. So in genetic algorithm, almost every combinations of all that data is taken, just like generation by generation, they check the output and perform the prediction. So the perfect method to find the hyperparameter, perfect value of k, is the genetic algorithm that we can try. But genetic algorithms are not present in scikit-learn. If you want to work, a separate package is present in Python library that you have to install, that is called as tpot. With the help of that, genetic algorithm will show you perfect value for k. But remember, one genetic algorithm or one data set takes too much time. It will take 2 to 3 minutes actually to find the ideal value of k. Once it is found, then we can reuse for multiple number of times. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, welcome, sir.
Anyone else want to ask something? Yes. I'm here to propose vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank our Honorable Chairman, Satish T. Patil sir, for supporting us to conduct such events. I would like to thank our Honorable Director, Colonel S.K. Joshi sir, for motivating and guiding us to organize such events. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Tushar Kute sir for gracing this occasion with his presence and for sharing his knowledge with us, which will definitely help us to enhance our skills. A big thank, a big thanks to our beloved principal sir, Dr. Vijay M. Vadai sir, for the words of encouragement. Sir, we are honored to have you with us. My heartfelt thanks to respected Vice Principal Ma'am, Dr. P. Malti Ma'am, for your guidance and supporting all our efforts. I would like to thank our HOD, Dr. Vinay Kotar sir, for his support and guidance he has extended to all of us. I would like to thank Mrs. Shanti Guru ma'am and Mrs. Neelam Patil ma'am, Chief Coordinator of the program, for their guidance and support. I extend my heartfelt thanks to organizing team members for their efforts to make this event successful. A big thanks to all their participants for active participation and being with us. Thank you all. As we come to the closure of the day 3 session 2, I would like to thank Principal Sir, Vice Principal Ma'am, and organizing team for such a wonderful refresher program. Thank you all.